Hey, welcome in everyone to Dom Time. Joining me in studio tonight to talk about something that has a lot of economic development coming to Horsham, Pennsylvania, are Colonel Anthony Corelli, Commander, Pennsylvania Air National Guard, and Sean Miller, who opposes drones coming to Horsham, or the operation of drones, drone-free Horsham. Now, Sean, I saw your protests. I saw some of the coverage of this, and there were at least a few people there holding up signs that said cowards to this. That's what I was kind of getting at. Do you see this as cowardly? You know, the people that were at the protest, do they feel this way?
Well, you know, a lot of times at protests, people have catchphrases and slogans that not necessarily everybody there agrees with.
Okay.
I think there is a certain, maybe a more eloquent way to say it is this is making it a lot easier to kill without being directly attached to what you're doing. So you don't have to see the havoc that you're wreaking. You are thousands, hundreds of thousands of miles away. You're just pushing a button, and you know it's a little bit easier and to fall into a pattern of killing if you don't have to put anybody in danger, and if you don't have to take into consideration, you know, the damage that you're doing firsthand. If you don't have to see it and witness it, you know, it's just another obstacle being removed between person A killing person B.
Yeah, respond to that, Colonel. The people that will be operating these, how do they deal with it? You know, he's right. This is a little bit different than being over top of the target.
Sure, and as someone who has flown an aircraft, you know, I previously flew A-10s with the Pennsylvania National Guard in combat situations. I can tell you that when you're in a fighter aircraft doing an attack in a threat area where people are shooting back at you, you have very brief instances where you fly across the target and you have to make split-second decisions to employ, you know, a great amount of ordnance. With the remotely piloted aircraft, again, you're sitting at a console thousands of miles away, but the optics that are tremendous on this aircraft give you a much better view.
Who signs off on this, though? Are there lawyers there? Is that a classified matter? Is it from the president on down?
It depends on the type of operation, and the aircraft is getting, you know, of course, with a lot of the protests, you'll hear about the other countries where these are going on. It's a very small percentage of the overall. I mean, these are used on our battlefield. These are used to escort convoys of American troops. These are used to call up when there is an explosive improvised device that's exploded on American troops, or if American troops are ambushed, these systems are called in.
Okay, well, Sean, what do you say about that? Now, this seems to me, in fairness, versus split-second decisions in which, in the fog of war, as he said, hurtling through space, you're asking him to make a decision where there could be massive collateral damage or not. Here, it's more precise, maybe more sanitized, but you might even have all the way up to the president saying go or not go in these situations.
Yeah, and I mean, I would just like to real quickly challenge the notion that these are being used strictly to reinforce our troops on the ground, because we're doing this in Somalia, Pakistan, and Yemen.
What's wrong with that?
Well, because
we took out
the defense was that these are being used to take out targets and improvised devices that are going to harm our soldiers. Now, that's a little bit different from having an antagonistic role in countries that we do not have a military presence in.
How would we get at al-Awlaki, the key figure who apparently even inspired the Boston bomber? What would you have us do then? The cleric that was taken out by this?
Well, you know, the cleric is an American citizen, and he wrote things, and you know, most of us in this country believe American citizens get due process, and when they don't, for one reason or another, you open the door for 16-year-old Americans to be killed in the name of the war on terror without any further exploration in the facts.
Well, I don't know if the colonel can respond to that, but you're more in the chain of command where you're taking orders on this type of thing.
Yes, but what I would say is, you know, the U.S. government has a number of military options at their disposal. You know, the Air Force and the aircraft that we use to employ are some of those options. Of course, there's other services. And the point that you brought up is if in the name of national security, and again, that's the President, Congress, whoever decides what those objectives are, is that the action has to be taken, then they select from a whole host of options. Now, they've been using the remotely piloted aircraft because of its a very controlled nature.
Okay.
They can see the live feed. They can see exactly what's going on.
Let's take a caller for you guys. Let's go to Lewis in Philadelphia. Lewis, glad you're with us tonight on Dom Time. Go right ahead with your comment.
Yeah, my comments are I do approve the flying the drones out of Horsham out there. My thing is Sean seems to be a young person, but I think he should be more politically patriotic and don a uniform and go to boot camp and come back, and he'll find out what it's all about.
All right, well, thank you, Louis. Sean, I'll give you a chance. Do you feel your patriotism is put into question with this? Have people said that to you? Did anybody drive by and say anything to the protesters that wasn't supportive?
Yeah, sure. And listen, I have utmost respect for those that are willing to sacrifice, you know, put their lives on the line and potentially get in harm's way to protect our country. But the freedom that this country represents is the exact same freedom that requires us to stand up and speak out if we think something is wrong. You know, if we just sit by idly and take everything for granted as okay, I think that that's not exactly being a patriot. Part of a requirement of being a patriot is being able to be critical when the administration is wrong about something.
All right,
so
we got
I
you.
proudly stand.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to bring in a couple of other people, one that organized the protest, and the other who has a lot more of the day-to-day operation of what will be happening at Horsham. And we'll talk about the economic development part of this, which is a big plus as we continue with your calls on Dom Time.